What's up guys, my name's Brandon, and iOS 13.5.1 and iOS 13.5.5 Beta 1 have both been out for about a week now. They came out on the same day last week, and I want to give you guys a follow-up video on how the software has been running for me on multiple devices, and also discuss a weird issue that's going on with iOS 13.5.1. So I've had iOS 13.5.1 installed on my main device, which is right here, the iPhone 11 Pro Max, along with the 2020 iPad Pro and my iPhone XR. And meanwhile, the iPhone 11 Pro right here is my main beta testing device. So this is running iOS 13.5.5 Beta 1. And overall, I would have to say that I have next to no issues on 13.5.1 on any of my devices. However, some people are reporting a pretty strange bug that seems to be related to either iOS 13.5 or 13.5.1 or just a recent iOS release. And that weird bug is this green tint appearing after unlocking your iPhone. And this appears to be very common with iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max. But even some people with the iPhone 10 are saying that they've been affected by this. So I've not been able to reproduce this on any of my devices on any recent iOS version. I've tried on numerous devices and I cannot replicate this. But according to the hundreds of people reporting this over on Reddit, I saw it on Mac Rumors, it was on the Apple support forums even, it seems that the screen on their iPhone gets like this green tint to it right after unlocking it, or when dark mode and night shift are both enabled at the same time. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but there are threads that date back to May, but the number of people who are reporting this bug seems to be increasing with each additional software update, including 13.5.1 now. So some users reported that this bug didn't start happening until 13.5.1, whereas others said that it started with 13.5, some even saying 13.4.1. So it seems to be very recent, and it seems to not be addressed at all in these software updates that Apple is pushing out. And I believe I even remember seeing a couple comments here on my channel over the past couple months of people having this issue and them just thinking it's a hardware issue. And they sent it to Apple and they sent them a new phone, basically believing it was a hardware issue. But now it seems that it's just a software-based issue, since some people are gradually starting to get it. And of course, since this is happening on the iPhone 10 as well, it further proves that this probably is not a hardware issue. So Apple has not acknowledged this issue yet, but I would assume they will very, very soon. And a new software release seems to be on the horizon, and that will likely be iOS 13.5.2. Now, while I have not noticed that bug, thankfully, on any of my devices, I have noticed one annoying bug in 13.5.1 after using it for about a week now, and that has to do with the music application and the queuing of songs. So if I go into my notes here, you'll see that on June 2nd, I made note of this bug because I noticed this pretty much right away, but I just never got around to making a follow-up video until now. But I noticed this bug, and you can see here I wrote for myself, I do this with every software release, but I put songs added to up next don't show up unless you go out and back into the queue. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So if I go into the music application and then go to the queue right here, you can see what the up next song is right now. But if I go into here and maybe I want to play this song next, and I go to play next, sometimes it will not actually show up as playing next. So you can see here it works sometimes, but sometimes no matter how many times you add a song to play up next, it will not appear there, and it won't appear until you go out of the queue, sometimes completely out of music. You have to completely quit music and then go back into it and do it again, and then it will eventually be added to the queue. So I've noticed some very random inconsistencies inside of the music app, specifically with the queuing of songs. And this is an issue I've had before, not this exact one, but issues with queuing and music have really been issues in the past. So I'm not surprised, but hopefully we will see that fixed in the next software version. But aside from that music queuing issue, I've really not had any issues on 13.5.1. It seems perfectly fine for me. The performance is excellent. I've not had any lag or random resprings at all in this update. Multitasking is fine. Playing games is fine. Phone calls, connectivity, everything seems perfectly fine. Battery life is also great, but like I assumed in my what's new video, it's not any better or any worse than 13.5. So if I go to my battery right here, you can see what kind of battery life I'm getting. Of course, I do use my phone quite a bit, so you can see my average time here, screen on time close to 10 hours, and you can kind of just see the graphs. But these don't really tell the whole story. But of course, I will let you guys know, in these videos if it's better or worse than the previous, and I've not noticed any difference at all in 13.5 compared to 13.5.1. And keep in mind, that was expected because really the only reason that Apple pushed 13.5.1 out to the public was solely to patch the jailbreak that was released for 13.5 and below. So if you don't care about jailbreaking, of course you should have already updated. If not, or if you do care about the jailbreak, there's really no reason to update at all because it really did not change anything. Now, as for iOS 13.5.5, again, I am running that here on my iPhone 11 Pro. In my initial What's New video, I could not find anything new in the update, and after using it for a week, I still did not notice anything new. And the reason for that is because the new changes are actually hidden within the code of 13.5.5. So thanks to 9to5Mac, we know that the code in this update suggests that Apple is working on a services bundle that will offer multiple Apple services like Apple TV Plus, Apple Music, maybe Apple News Plus, and it's all going to be for one flat monthly price. So we've been hearing about this for a good while now, and it seems that when 13.5.5 gets released to the public, we will see some sort of bundle from Apple. And not only that, but we also now know that the new audio feature coming to Apple News Plus is also going to be included in 13.5.5. So this feature will basically just read the news articles to you like a podcast, and apparently Apple is planning to use actors to read longer articles later on down the road. So you can see here 9to5Mac shows the exact tab in the news application, and Jeff Benjamin here explains how the interface is similar to the podcast app. And you get buttons to like go back 30 seconds, to play and pause, to skip to the next article. And it seems pretty cool. And you will have a nice new feature when paying for Apple News Plus if you are a subscriber to that. Now, 9to5Mac has also found references in iPadOS 13.5.5 code that indicates that we could be seeing new keyboard shortcuts that could replace some of the function keys. So it looks like we're going to have keyboard shortcuts on the new Magic Keyboard, and it looks like we could actually see adjusting of the keyboard backlighting. So you'll be able to adjust the keyboard backlighting with a simple button on the keyboard like you can on the MacBook, and that will be great. That was the number one request I had for the Magic Keyboard after I started using it. That's one thing I really wish we were able to do. And now it seems we could be seeing that with 13.5.5 based on the code. Now keep in mind that this feature could actually be saved for iOS 14. It is included in the code for 13.5.5, but that does not necessarily mean that it's going to be out in time when 13.5.5 gets released. But hopefully it is. Hopefully we do see that feature sooner rather than later. So yeah, the only new features or changes in 13.5.5 are not visible in the first beta. And as for the performance and battery life, it's exactly the same as 13.5 and 13.5.1. As expected, there's really nothing changed in terms of the performance or battery life on these recent updates. Now, as for when we'll see the final release of iOS 13.5.5, that's still unknown as we still have at least a couple more betas to go through. So we still at least have 2 more weeks at the bare minimum. So, at the earliest, maybe June 22nd. I don't know. We'll still have to wait and see. Of course, I will be posting more about the release dates and things like that over on Twitter. So if you're not following me over there, make sure to go ahead and do so. That link is down in the description below. But of course, I would expect to see 13.5.5 beta 2 at some point this week. And then of course, later this month, we will have iOS 14 beta 1 released, and that is going to be on the first day of WWDC, which is June 22nd. So that is definitely something to look forward to. You guys know I will be covering that like crazy here on the channel. So for those of you wondering when WWDC is and iOS 14 beta 1, that is going to be June 22nd. I will have more details, of course, here on YouTube. I will be streaming live during the event and, talking to you guys about iOS 14, how to install it, all kind of things like that. So definitely a lot to look forward to in the coming weeks. But that's pretty much it for my take on iOS 13.5.1 and 13.5.5. Let me know what you guys think about these updates. How are they running for you? Are you running 13.5.1 or 13.5.5 beta 1? Let me know which one you're running down in the comment section below, along with what device you're running it on, and of course, how it's treating you, because I did not run a poll this week on the community tab. I will do that probably next week, but I missed it this week. So just let me know down in the comments how they are treating you. And as for the lack of videos lately, I do apologize for that. There's just a lot going on in the personal life. So I will be back to making videos full force starting really this week. I mean, starting with this video, I'm going to be back to normal schedule. Of course, I do need some mental time off sometimes just because of everything going on in the world right now. Stuff in my personal life. There's just a lot of stuff going on right now, and I apologize for that. I know a lot of you guys rely on my videos to bring, happiness to your day and take your mind off things going on in the real world. So I will be back to normal making videos, multiple times a week. So definitely look forward to that. And I don't plan on having a little extended break like that anytime for the rest of this year. So just be on the lookout for new videos. Of course, iOS 14 coming out, tons of content coming with that. I cannot wait. So anyways, guys, thanks again for watching the video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, I would appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos. But anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.